Kelly's.
Oh,
It's a
DK
property tax exemption for.
DK back.
Well, good morning. We're here for our weekly Marion County Board of Commissioners meeting. It is Wednesday, November 10th already. Wow, Thanksgiving's just around the corner. It's 9 a.m. We're here in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street. As always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remember that. I think I said that yesterday. Liberty and justice for all. Yeah, remember we had that?
You say it like it's a question.
Well, we're not going to get into it today, but yeah.
Sounds like you want to. I bet this comes up again later.
Yeah. Okay, so we have nobody signed up for public comment this morning, so we'll go right into our presentation. And Scott, I saw you sitting there someplace for our wildfire update. Welcome.
Okay, Scott McClure, Long-Term Disaster Recovery Manager, and Status Report 11, number 14 months after the fire. And interesting trend that's happened with the dwelling permits. These numbers haven't changed that much. And I think we hit partially a window of, I think people are kind of talking maybe some of the easier ones, the folks that could rebuild have gotten through. Obviously, construction season, you're going to get a slowdown this time of year anyhow. So actually didn't have a whole lot of, a little bit of adjustment. So we're still getting some progress, but not the bumps that we had previously. But on the dwelling permits, we are up to 42%. And then on septic, up to 55%. So still good leading edge numbers, and we'll see how those go in the future. Property and hazard cleanup, no change here. The ODOT site actually went to the point now it shows no data. So there's like nothing on the site. And I think, a public works director noted that we probably need to get directly to the contractor now to try to get numbers because it seems like their site's just now gone offline. So we'll see. That's kind of hard to keep track when you don't have any numbers. So
Maybe they don't have people to update the website.
I don't know. Yeah, don't know how they're assigned now. So on our county-led projects, financial needs. We've got the folks still supporting Gates shifting over to their new software billing system. They're actually now kind of in the data input phase, getting trained on the system. Communications, real nice bump. The San Am Recovery Org, which was there way back when, just got restructured very significantly. A very good group effort with the LTRG. And then a project LTD, who was our communications group on this. Just to give you a touch on that.
Yes, show the people.
Yeah, we're going to do
I'm super
that.
excited about this website.
Okay, hold it. Okay, let's
You
see.
have to, I think, control click.
I know, it didn't seem to like that. My mouse is going away when I hit it.
Good, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, well, it's weird. This is always good when it works on your computer and then you go to a different one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Any idea, Brenda? Anything?
Can you just pop out to the web and just type it in?
I probably could do that. That's probably going to be easier.
I think it is.
Yeah, it was there, like I said, on my computer, but not here. Okay, so let's see. I need to get out of this.
Hit escape.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Where is it? Okay. We'll do it the hard way, I guess.
The fact that you typed it in right the first time with everyone watching you is impressive. Well, maybe that's why. Is your laptop not connected to the internet?
Oh, that's apparently it.
Oh, well, people
Okay.
can just go to sanamrecovery.org
Yes,
and
okay, well that.
check it out. It's a really great website.
Okay, well that
Lots of
kind of
community
explains
effort went
things.
into building it.
Yeah, so I think the nice thing there is I can kind of go over the topically. What it does is it's got really nice sections. And so you got sections on there for simple recovery, so the kind of the first phase of property cleanup, and where do you get assistance? Then you've got more working with FEMA on the front end. Then you've got resources, the different groups that are out there that can help. getting into the SIT team, mental health resources, just United Way, anybody that could possibly help you out. And then a big section, getting folks linked in, is the volunteer side, how you can donate, how you can volunteer. It's very clean, very easy to get around, and the hope is over time that'll become really kind of the one-stop shop for everything. It's got ability there to sign up. Now we're going to set it up so people that want to volunteer have an on-site system to do that. Getting folks onto a newsletter so we can get more people into our kind of our realm, so we can get communication going a little bit better. That obviously adds on to social media efforts that are being rolled out by the LTRG right now, and then also getting newsletters going, which we want to continue. So I think we're kind of hitting a good phase there with all those levels. And nice one here, this is really good case of a partnership that are just infinite in this area, but with the LTRG, kind of county-funded resources with the technical team, lining them up with the LTRG, the volunteers that work with that, and then getting everything blended together, and something I think will be very sustainable. So I think that was a really good effort. So with that, we did note that we had the second fire recovery newsletter, and then, as I noted there, with the long-term recovery group working on social media promotional materials. So LTRG is now Facebook, LinkedIn, and they're going to start kind of doing some regular getting things out there, get themselves visible. Then on the economic opportunity analysis, we had a comprehensive picture of the current canyon economy, and they're doing recovery trajectories, and then we're moving toward recommendations. Interesting ones that's going to come out when you see this in your final documents is sewer. Sewer is just a major tripwire on which direction you're going to go. And I think an interesting one, what we ran into recently with Detroit, as I mentioned, was the septic issues. You know, if there's not some probably temporary corrections, it could be not even getting back to where Detroit was. I think before we were thinking, well, we'll get them back there, probably naturally, can we get better? You know, if some of those issues aren't cracked, that could be a really drag on them for a number of years. So that's going to be a key part of the recommendations that will come through from the consulting teams.
Scott, in those recommendations, is there anything about the marinas
Yeah, absolutely.
being
Yeah.
excavated?
Yeah, but there'll be a bunch of work there. And I think one theme that's come up there too is dealing with potentially an uncertainty, you know, from the Corps. Is there some flexibility that can be built in, as in having everything operate at different levels? You know,
Right.
if you hit 1 year here, it's a dry year, then okay, it's here, then making everything adapt so you actually can still use the lake even with different levels. But everybody also knows that that's dealing with the Army Corps of Engineers in a big, giant process. Then continuing housing, yeah, we're still working with the grant award for the North San Am State Park and the Gates temporary housing sites. We did get the lease approved actually at your last meeting for the Gates housing site, so that was a good step. The health impact assessment, the OSU team actually did a survey. They've gotten some good looks on their survey online, and they actually did 2 focus groups. They did one in person and they did one online, and they actually completed those last week, so they're going to get some good data out of that. And then the community visioning strategic plans, they've got some drafts roughly developed, and what they're going to do is they're going to actually test those on site next week. So actually Monday and Tuesday next week, they'll be in Gates and Detroit. And then they'll be trying out themes with them, and then they'll use that to get their document finalized. Then just some other notes for up in Detroit, the old reservoir got taken down. They got a little bit of work there. Tree trimming in the waterways happened. And then a big effort they're doing right now is trying to get matching funds for their grant awards. So FEMA is very generous helping you with your recovery, but in the case of Oregon, it was determined that you have to come with your own match. So they're trying to come up with, substantial amount of money to back the substantial money that's coming from FEMA.
Scott, just to clarify, demolition of Detroit's reservoir, we need to be careful. The water storage reservoir. Okay.
That'd be good.
Right.
Meaning for the drinking water.
For the drinking water.
I think
Not
people
the
would have
dam.
noticed if we would have
Because
taken
I'm sure
down
somebody,
that reservoir.
I was listening and go, destruction of Detroit's reservoir.
Wait
Yes.
a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some people that would probably like that to happen. but
Yeah.
Not anybody in this room.
No.
Yeah, they'd be pretty noticeable, so, yeah. Then, kind of moving on, Gates actually hired an additional part-time person to help out with their administration, so that'll help them move forward a little bit. And then, State of Oregon, they have a couple of incentive programs coming that can help folks with energy efficiency and fire hardening. And I think a nice one here is they're structuring them a little bit differently, but they know that it should be kind of linked, so they might even end up with a joint application. So somebody could come in and say, yeah, if I do these certain things, I can, get a couple credits, or if I do a couple other things, then I can get those. And county will be involved either directly managing the program or at least verifying that, certain tasks were taken care of, and we do the building inspection services on those. And then one that's kind of out in the wings in the future is a septic program getting set up, but they're still a couple months out from getting that structured. Then just kind of a good project there is if you heard about the shed building project. So there's a group that's been building sheds for folks, and that's
Through the coalition?
yes. So that's a pretty important thing for somebody that's like maybe living in, a fifth wheel right now. They don't have space or anything temporary. Pretty important. They did some really good work on the front end. They still are, but they ran out of money for the materials. And so I actually got them hooked up with a couple partners, and so we're having some discussions on ways to potentially apply to foundations or do some other fundraising so they can get the materials back so they can let their volunteers loose again.
I think Nick Harville with Sedcor is the instrument behind that.
Yep.
Invaluable
Very important.
asset in Marion County.
Yeah.
Happens to be in the audience.
Yeah, hopefully get some progress there. And with that, and then just one last note, we've been bedeviled by data collection and trying to figure out really, what the scale of the issue is, what people need. We've tried to consolidate information. We've talked about it, didn't get there. But finally, there's a group out called World Renew. They're actually in town, and they're working as we speak. And so they're going to be our data collector. They're going to reach out to wildfire survivors, just really do a comprehensive assessment where they are, what they need. And they're doing a series of meetings up and down the canyon. Here's a little flyer, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. So if you're out there in the audience and you are a wildfire survivor, if you see a flyer come in like this, take a look at it. Lots of different places and different times you can meet with those folks, and the information we get is really going to be invaluable, so we hope folks will participate.
But why is it going to be invaluable? I had a conversation with somebody the other day about World Renew, and I made a post on my social media platform that the county, Jan and I, have been trying to get this here since I became a commissioner earlier this year. And specifically what I'm going to use the data for is to be able to create a money map, a loss money map for housing in the canyon. And I'll be able to take that data. So it'll tell me exactly how many 3-bedroom, 2-baths across the disaster occurred. And then I can go look for grants with our team, federal dollars, federal partners, whatever, to be able to come back and restore that effort without actually having the data that speaks to the grants. We can't apply. And it's not just housing, of course, that's going to impact, but for the project that I'm specifically working on, it's going to be huge for the effort. So I hope that everybody up the canyon actually engages with World Renew, even if they are successful in their process of recovery right now, because I need to collect their challenges and what their loss looked like to paint the full picture. So it's not just for people who still are in need, it's for everybody. And I really think that information needs to be pushed as far as possible. When are they leaving? How long are they here?
Yep. So they're, they're working, actually, they're doing a couple blocks. They're doing 8th through the 12th, and then the 15th through the 18th. It looks like the longest would be actually at Staten, goes through the 19th, so November 19th. So they are actually meeting with people right now. And then, the last day they would be kind of focusing on things would be November 19th.
Do you know if we have sent out an email blast to our Sandium Canyon listserv notifying them of this?
Yes.
Did Chad do that?
We've used our other vehicles too.
Great.
Yes.
As long as we could just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That probably wouldn't hurt to do maybe like the front of next week, do another boost.
I think you should do it every week until they're gone.
Just keep hitting it.
Just
That's a good
pester
point.
them until they get
Yep.
engaged.
Agreed.
And blame it on me. I need the
It's
data.
okay.
All right.
Yeah. With that is it.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Scott.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks, Scott. Making some progress.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure you want to make a motion to remove item
Yeah, so
9 off the,
make a motion to remove item number 9 from the action agenda. Under Public Works, consider approval of an order establishing a policy for the temporary reduction in the cost to obtain building and septic permits from Marion County building inspections for property owners rebuilding or repairing commercial structures damaged or destroyed by wildfires in the September 2020.
And I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second, and any further discussion, I'll just say we had a really good meeting yesterday about this particular issue, and we want to make sure we get it right for those commercial accounts that as residentials burn down and need to come back, and make sure we're doing everything we can to help them do that right. And by putting this off a little bit, it's okay, because even whatever we come up with will be retroactive, and we'll make sure that those that have paid or are being paid will get refunds for whatever we come up with. That's why we're removing it until we get it right.
I have nothing to add.
Making sausage, right? All right, it's always messy. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. We'll go right into our consent calendar. Mr. Willis?
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I move the consent agenda under Board of Commissioners, certify the Salem, Marion, Polk County Continuum of Care fiscal year 2021 project applications are consistent with Marion County's 2020 through 2024 consolidated plan. Under Human Resources, approve the recommendation to adjust upward the pay grade for classification codes 506, Public Health Nurse 1, number 511, Public Health Nurse 2, number 512, Public Health Nurse 3, and reactivate, update, and adjust upward the pay grade for classification code number 377, Community Development Division Director. Under Public Works, receive notice of the hearing officer's decision recommending approval of zone change comprehensive plan ZCCP, case number 21-007, Deep Lake Investment LLC, and schedule a public hearing for December 1st, 2021. And receive notice of hearing officer's decision recommending approval of zone change comprehensive plan ZCCP, case number 21-008, Snow and Curly Properties LLC, and schedule a public hearing for December 1st, 2021.
Second the motion.
And a motion and a second.
I was reading.
I just have a comment,
Yep.
Mr. Chair, if I may. I just want to clarify that what we're doing with the continuum of care item is just certifying that it is consistent with our consolidated plan under CDBG. I do have some concerns with the NOFA, just with the data underlying it. I don't think it's as tight or as well researched as I would like, and I made that clear at the meeting last week, but I don't think it conflicts with our consolidated plan. So that's the motion, and I'm comfortable moving forward with that.
Okay. Any other further discussion on the consent calendar? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right. First action item. Well, I think this might be Kelly's first time in front of us today. Welcome, Kelly. Consider a resolution approving a rural industrial improvement property tax exemption for DK Fab Inc. And I believe we have some guests here.
We absolutely do.
One of them seems to be really famous.
He's a celebrity.
Yep.
A well-earned celebrity status.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kelly Weiss. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator here at Marion County, and you're absolutely right, Commissioner Cameron. This is my first time in front of you at a board session, so please be nice to me.
Well, we really
Good
like
job,
you, so it'll
Kelly.
be
Good
easy.
job.
Oh, thank you. All right.
Just
well-
make sure you keep that microphone close so
Okay,
it picks it up.
will do. All right, so for your consideration this morning, we have a resolution to consider approval of an application to the Rural Industrial Property Tax Exemption Program for property owned and operated by DK Fab, and we have a representative from DK Fab here today. This program is part of Marion County's Code 3.35.020. So this is an opportunity that Marion County implemented in order to support our businesses who are making a large capital investment for our community. So Marion County's program allows for a 3-year exemption for property taxes on any new qualifying improvements for the business. So the intention of this program is really to allow our businesses who are making that big capital investment time to get their businesses up and operational, get their capital improvements in before they are required to pay the property taxes on those additional improvements. So this allows those businesses the chance to have some return on investment before they have the additional cost of their property taxes. The application has been submitted to our assessor's office and it's been reviewed, and it meets all the requirements of this program. So if granted, DK Fab would be responsible after this meeting with following up with all of the taxing entities in the district to notify them that they've applied and be receiving this exemption, and that the tax entities would forego these funds proportionally. So DK Fab anticipates $5.5 million in new taxable value for the property with this investment, which would mean an approximate tax exemption of $47,872 for each of the 3 consecutive years. So Marion County contracts with our local celebrity, Sedcor, to support our business retention and development in our county. And I'm very pleased to turn it over to Nick Harville. He's Sedcor's Business Retention and Expansion Manager serving Marion County, as well as DK Fab's representative Patrick Kirsch, so they can talk more about the project specifics.
Thanks, Kelly. Welcome.
Nick Harwell, Silverton, Oregon, Sedcor, working for Sedcor. I'd like to introduce Patrick Kirsch with DK Fab. DK Fab's project is just outside of Jervis and adds substantial value to Marion County. So I want Patrick to answer any of the questions you might have about the project.
Welcome, Patrick.
Yeah,
Just
hello.
introduce yourself for the record, please.
Yeah, my name is Patrick Kirsch, and I represent DK Fab. I am more or less the office manager, and I also do a little bit of supply chain management as well for the company. We had started this whole project and anticipated it to progress quickly, but unfortunately, we had a complete loss of our Washington shop in 2018. Overnight, a 12,000 square foot shop burned to the ground, everything in it, 100% loss. So that basically all the resources that we had intended to put towards the Oregon shop were forced to be put in to rebuild the Washington shop. As of June 1st this year, we finaled on a 31,000 square foot new building in Washington, and we're up and running, and it's going really well. So now we've returned our attention back to the Oregon shop, which we have already invested over $1.3 million into in groundwork and development to prepare for the building. And we are working with a local architect to get we've had actually submitted plans to the county for review, and we have the buildings already in progress with, I guess, the final drawings for at PBS here in Woodburn. So in a nutshell, that's what's happening in our world.
Patrick, you want to share with the public what your company actually does that they end up using?
Sure, yeah.
I
So
think it's interesting.
primarily, our bread and butter is hop picking equipment. So we build everything from what cuts it out of the field, brings it to the hop picker. We build all the components front to back for all the picking, and also drying facilities and baling. So start to finish, we're hops. Now, that is in Washington, that's basically all they do. Here in Oregon, we'll pick up some hazelnut jobs, building big sorters, conveyance, and then in addition to that, we do general fab and some mobile fab. So,
Well, you still didn't get to the point where I enjoy what you do, but
Which is,
they make equipment that helps get beer into this.
did you know, just as a fun fact, that a lot of the components that go into picking hops also picks hemp
No, and
and/or other products?
Yeah,
So
well-
I thought maybe you were going to go that way.
no, I haven't.
Well,
No,
I think one thing, to that
I'm
point,
just sticking with the beer.
one of the things I like about this company is a lot of our farmers, like if they have like special problems, they can kind of go to DK and be like, hey, I need this kind of a machine. I can't buy it off the shelf. Can you help me? And I know you guys do a really good job helping our farmers solve some of those weird problems because we grow a lot of different types of things here.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. We actually just did a olive project of all things, and it was basically a stick. It's called a stick walker to help just separate the trash out of the picking process. And yeah, that's, I guess, thank you for mentioning that. We try to set ourselves apart from one main competitor by just above and beyond offering more robust built material with all American made components and just really bring quality to the forefront.
Yep. Good. I want to, so you've got a little work, unless there's a problem here, we're going to approve this, and you got a little work ahead of you, and I think Kelly mentioned all the districts. It's only 75%. You got to go out there and make sure we get 75% of the taxing districts to support this.
Yes, so we'll need letters from 75%, but the notifications still need to go out to all.
75%. Nick will help you. He knows how to do this.
Yeah, we've been down this road.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to mention, if I could,
Yep.
these guys are from Marion County.
Right.
They live here. When Mount Angel started their vocational training, they had nothing to teach the kids how to weld. DK Fab donated all of the equipment, so they're already investing back in the county.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say is, this bill, Senate Bill 1565 that made this happen, I want to thank Willamette Valley Vineyards and Bill Cross and Tamara and our previous economic director, Tom Hogue, to make this. This is a Marion County bill, and I always say this, I said this since I got here in 2014, I think I got more done being here in the legislature than I did when I was in the legislature. This is a bill, I don't know that any other county has adopted this yet. And the good thing about this is that it's encouraging a local business to invest $5 million or more. And that property tax isn't there yet, and it's not going to be there. It defers it for another 3 years, but it will come. And it gives you the chance to invest this money. And what happened out at Willamette Valley Vineyards is they did this big $5-6 million expansion, and then they got this tax bill right away on that and said, hey, we didn't even get the volume yet to pay these taxes. So this is a really good program. It's unique to Marion County. I don't know that any county has adopted it yet. So I always like to raise our flag, and Nick, you're the salesman out there making this thing happen, and people like DK can take advantage of it. So it's a really good program, and excited to have it in Marion County.
No, Mr. Chair, the other thing I want to add to that is there are a lot of programs like this in cities, in urban areas.
Right.
And so one
Enterprise
of the,
zones, et cetera, yeah.
and so this kind of evens the playing field, right? It makes it so that businesses aren't at a disadvantage when they invest in rural areas, especially rural areas in Marion County. And I really like that because I think so often the money just flows to the cities, because that's where the people are. And I really like that we're kind of making the playing field a little even, or a little more even.
And all the ones we've approved so far have been ag-related, right? And that, agriculture is our number one industry in Marion County. We're the number one ag-producing county, so it's good for us, right? That's a good point.
I have a few questions.
Yes, go ahead.
So, thanks for being here. How many jobs is this gonna add to Marion County? What's the building actually going to be doing?
Okay, so I guess to help with this perspective, we currently operate out of approximately 10,000 square feet. The building that we're going to be putting up is 42,000 square feet.
Wow.
And there's a lot of things that come with this. It's not just size. It's the functionality of the building is built to be super efficient. Just product flow, material flow, and the productivity of our workers based on the layout of the shop. Given that, we expect to hire 4 to 6 more guys over the next 3 to 4 years. A lot of it's gonna depend. We're forecasting a hop boom in 2023, and I guess with that, when there are those hop booms, there's gonna be equipment that follows it, and that's what we're forecasting as of right now.
Well, I'm excited to see it, so when it's done, be sure to call me so I can come check it out.
Absolutely.
I got to see some of the great work of DK Fab at Scenic Valley Farms. So Bob Zielinski is a huge champion of you guys. I'm sure you know that. And not only has he been a champion of the ag community because he's a farmer, but he likes to kind of just bring the community together. I've worked on several community projects on kind of the north end of the county, and DK has always stepped up to help. Not necessarily write a check, but like once I had some welders come out and actually put some rebar together for me so I could put a turf field in. I just love what you guys do. I'm excited. I didn't know about this until today. I didn't read through the packet, and it hadn't come to me before in kind of a learning session. So I'm excited to kind of learn with the community about what you're doing. And so Kelly, can you help the community understand really what the root gain is for us to do this? People aren't going to go read the bill. And I think it's important to understand that, one, that we're not necessarily losing out on revenue, right, for taxation right now, because it doesn't technically exist. But what's the spread look like on an investment or partnership like this look like?
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeking to do is support our businesses who are looking to make those big capital investments. So what that means is it's a lot to ask our businesses to make, just like Commissioner Cameron mentioned, to make that large capital investment, build that new building, increase their productivity or enter a new venture for their business, and then immediately pay the taxes before they've even seen their business up and running, they've even seen those new employees get hired. And so this allows them that grace period, basically, to get their business operational, to get those buildings in, to get that equipment in, get it functional, get those employees hired before they are tasked with paying those additional property taxes. And the benefits for our region, not just the county, but also all of our special districts, is that we do require those additional jobs. So they are required to provide additional local jobs. They're required to hire them locally through a, first source hiring agreement, so make sure that they're receiving those jobs from a local source. And what that really does is make sure that their investment is broadening our infrastructure for the community and those jobs. And that's what we're here to support for economic development in general with the county. And it's very exciting. I mean, I'm new here at Marion County, and to be part of this program that's fresh out of the gate for Oregon, and I've talked to other counties that are super excited about it and want to know more about how it was implemented. It's nice to know that we are here at the front end supporting our businesses in this way.
Thank you. Too bad every county doesn't have a NIC. Because I feel like if they did, they'd be utilizing this program more.
But that's a good point, right? Because, I mean, there's this work that the companies have to do, and if you're busy making
Yeah.
equipment, it's like, well, I don't want to go through all the hassle. And so, Nick, it really is a testament to your work that you make it easy for us and for the companies to navigate this program. It's like anything, the government sets up a program, and then everyone's like, oh my gosh, how do I even fill out the paperwork? So
Just call Nick.
Yeah, our partner,
I'm going to slogan that. I'm going to make a T-shirt that says "Just call Nick."
we use our economic development dollars to partner with SEDCOR and support Nick's position and others, and it's really a great partnership. And I think that, again, we need to get going here, but this is one of those things where it's not for Amazon, it's for our small local businesses to encourage them to stay here and expand. And, the jobs, and I've said this before, the jobs are important. However, this might even be a place where somebody's going to invest in technology and expand their ability to produce more, and maybe they produce X amount of more with I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but to produce more with technology, and sometimes that requires new jobs or different jobs, and so this helps with that investment as well. And the last thing I will say is all those taxing districts, hopefully they see the benefit because they're gonna, in 3 years, they're gonna end up getting their share of $50,000 a year and more revenue that this business will be paying, so. Great, okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Mr. Chair, I move to consider a resolution approving the rural industrial improvement property tax exemption for DK Fab Inc.
And I second the motion.
A motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Great. We'll look forward to seeing that building going up.
Excellent. Thank you
Drive
very
up
much.
Portland
Thanks for
Road.
coming.
All right. Thank you for coming down. All right. Kelly, you're still up. Consider a resolution approving Brooks Hotmere Community Plan Future Report.
Yes, thank you. And for the record, my name is Kelly Weiss, Economic Development Coordinator here in our Community Services Department. So, you're right. Next up, let's talk Brooks Hotmere. I'm super excited to be moving forward on this project and getting that train rolling again so we can get moving and support this local community.
He's not abandoning you, he's just saying goodbye.
Oh, okay.
I got this.
All right. Let's do it.
Like default, next.
Got a vice chair up here.
Okay, we got this. All right.
here.
So this is going to be a little bit repetitive. We had a work session about this with the board on October 28th, but I wanted to make sure there was a refresher so you knew what we were talking about and what we were looking for approvals for today, as well as making sure that the public was aware of what's going on, so that way they can stay in the loop as much as possible. So we have 2 actions to consider today. The first is considerations for completion of Phase 1, which is the future report that we've been working on since 2019. So today I'll talk through briefly about the planning process for that, the community engagement steps we took, existing conditions and challenges for the area, and then really probably most importantly, what the recommendations from that study entailed. And then the second action before you this morning is considerations of moving forward with Phase 2, which is the water and wastewater feasibility study. So we're basically finishing off our first phase and moving forward with our second phase. So with the second phase, we'll talk about potential contract amendment with our contractor to perform these services. We'll talk through the purpose of those studies, what they're meant for, the scope of work, community engagement that will be entailed, and then the budget for that. So where is Brooks Hotmere, and why are we putting so much focus on this area? Brooks Hotmere is about 3 hours north of, 3 hours.
I was like, whoa, you must drive super slow.
We're gonna go to Vancouver is what we're gonna be doing. No, it's about 3 miles north of Salem and Kaiser. It's an intersection of a lot of different highways. So we have Interstate 5 as well as highways 99E and 99W. And it's our largest overall unincorporated community in the county. And it includes really 2 separate communities that are joined at the hip. We have Brooks on the eastern side and then Hotmere on the western side. And the area has about 550 residents and maybe even more drastically, about 1,500 jobs. And those jobs are brought by a mix of commercial and industrial, agricultural processing, those sorts of things. The region is pulled out really because of those jobs. It's an important asset for Marion County, and we called it out in our 2018-2022 Economic Development Strategic Plan for that reason, because it's that strong economic draw. So in 2019, we established a contract with Angelo Planning Group to help perform some work in this area, help determine how we can help support this region as it develops, if it chooses to develop. So that's where we run into our first action, which is the future report. And this report's objectives were really to make sure that we were understanding the current needs of this community, both its businesses as well as its residents. We wanted to know what they were seeking from their future development of their businesses, or if the residents were looking to have additional development, we wanted to know what that looked like for that region. And in doing so, the reason this was so timely as well is because we were looking to coordinate with ODOT on their Brook Lake Road Interchange Area Management Plan. And what that means is ODOT is coming and working right now with Marion County to develop some alternatives for the interchange and how they can improve that into the future. So we wanted to make sure that whatever they were proposing was really cohesive and was looking towards what those businesses need and what those residents need. And then we were looking, perhaps most importantly, to identify some opportunities that we could have to support those businesses and support the development of that region. So in 2019, over the course of this project, we started and we worked with our consultant team to really analyze those existing conditions and requirements at a high level. So we're talking looking at the needs of the community, long-term objectives of those residents and businesses, and then what steps they saw that the county could be doing moving forward. So the first step of that project was evaluating those existing conditions. We looked at transportation, water and wastewater infrastructure, and then any land use regulations for the area. And then we also did significant community outreach to determine the community's priorities and visions. After this evaluation and outreach, we worked to develop some growth scenarios, so looking at population potential increases in employment in the area, trying to determine how that growth might occur. And then working with the community to come up with a desired future. How did they want to see that growth happen, or did they even want to see that growth happen? So I talked about community engagement. We did significant community engagement with this effort. There were postcard mailings, we did multiple surveys, email distribution, website, all of the standard stuff. We did 2 open houses, one at the beginning to kind of fish out interest and what the concerns were for the area, and then one at the end to talk through, hey, we've done this work, we've done this analysis, hey community, what do you think? And then maybe most importantly, there was quite a few stakeholder interviews. So meetings with those businesses, meeting with some community groups, making sure that we understood what the goals were for that area. So from that community outreach, the future goals and their concerns were brought forth from that. Some of the goals for the area was really making sure that we maintain that small town rural feel. They live there and they've opened their businesses there for a reason, and it's not because it's in the middle of a city. They want to make sure that it maintains that feel and that agricultural sense as well for a lot of those businesses. A lot of the goals also were very focused on better functioning roads and infrastructure. Anybody who's driven up there in particular knows that those roads get backed up, not just the interstate, but yes, definitely the interstate, but also the intersections of 99E on the east side and then River Road on the west side. It can get very backed up, and those were major concerns from that area. But other goals were, they were really wanting to make sure that not only do they maintain that rural feel, but there's also opportunities for additional development for those businesses. A lot of those community members and those businesses really wanted to see them thrive and grow if that's where they were headed. And then a lot of the residences really wanted to see additional amenities, maybe some community spaces. They had recently lost a school, and so there was a need for that connectivity between the Hopmere side and the Brooks side. All right, so talking about community assets, this area has a lot going for it, and there's a lot of reasons that we're putting a focus on it. One is that transportation infrastructure that I talked about before. It's connectivity to Interstate 5 as well as the 299s. It also has a very significant campus for Chemeketa Community College and a number of large employers. And it also has a good tourism draw with antique Powerland. You can see the little picture on the bottom right, which a lot of people come to in the summer. It's very well supported in the community. But there are a lot of challenges that came forth from this in our discussion. So really the cost of those transportation improvements is one of the first things that came up. The interchange capacity, the need for signals in the area, the need for additional bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure, and then just limited street connectivity in general. Really, Brook Lake Road is the only connector street for these communities, and the need for additional infrastructure for that is really important to the community. There are, in addition to those transportation issues, there are limitations in water and sewer systems in the area. So there's no real community water system in Brooks Hopmere. There's a few shared wells, some in particular we help manage. And with that, there's limited fire flow capacity and really just inconsistent water quality. So those are some concerns of those businesses and residents. And from the wastewater side, we have a really atypical wastewater system up there. It's called septic tank effluent pumping system. And basically what that means is there's a lot of septic tanks up in that area, and those capacities of those tanks can be really limited, and they require a lot of maintenance. They require a lot of pumping. Some of the really well-used ones are required to be pumped weekly, which is an astronomical cost for those businesses, so something to think about into the long term. And then there's really also concerns for land use up in that area. The area is part of a designation for an urban unincorporated community, and that's something that is a consideration as we look forward for growth in that region. And there's, as an unincorporated community, there's no local government structure. So basically Marion County is their government structure for that region. So all this community outreach, all these studies, all these work led to a vision for the community that we posted on the screen. But basically, the community overall is looking to be that job hub, supporting the local agricultural industry. They want to make sure that the transportation facilities support those businesses, allow them to grow and thrive, that there's a connected community between Brooks and Hotmere, that they can work together as one, that the infrastructure is cost-effective and provides those businesses and residents with the opportunities for growth, and that there's a preservation of agricultural land, that it's just not a sprawl, it's an opportunity for those agricultural-based businesses to really support the agricultural industry and to maintain that rural feel in the area. I do want to note that this vision wasn't necessarily adopted universally by everyone up in that area. There were some concerns about the impacts of growth on traffic. There was also some concerns about maintaining that rural feel, and if those businesses grow, perhaps it would increase traffic or increase pedestrians and the like. So those were some concerns heard by residents. And then also concerns about the cost of any infrastructure improvements. So probably the most important part is the end goal of this future report is to come up with some recommendations for what the county could do to help support this area as it develops. There's a lot of recommendations that are included in this feature report. I'm not going to go over them in too much detail other than talk about our broad summaries, but you can cover in section 5 of the future report is pages and pages of things that we could be working through. But to bucket them into big categories, transportation improvements was probably the first thing that everyone brought up and was the most important. Enhancements to I-5 interchange is our primary strategy for that, and that's really working with ODOT like we already are on the interchange area management plan, but also to be advocating for those improvements into the future, because that management plan is just that, it's a plan, it's not funded yet, so continuing to make sure that ODOT has that in their capital improvement strategy into the future is going to be crucial for us. For water and wastewater and that infrastructure, that's our phase 2, talking about the primary strategy being, okay, we know there's an issue up here. We have to figure out what the next steps are for both the water system and the wastewater system. How do we best serve those industries and those residents and get them those services that they need? So that's the feasibility study is a way to accomplish that and do that analysis. And then the land use community facilities is the last of the primary strategies, really looking at the land use regulations in that area, looking at that UUC boundary, determining how we can help lessen those requirements if possible, and really look through what that means for the area. So that's the future report in a nutshell. I'm open to any questions.
Don't have any questions. We had quite a work session going over this. Okay. Feel like I got all my questions out.
Okay.
I think it's a good presentation for the public, though.
Good job, Kelly. And and we're going to go ahead and approve this resolution, but the next item is if you want to go back one slide, we're going to also approve the middle one there, the water systems study that we're going to move forward. So this is, everybody that's watching, this is just continual plan. I will say this, in conversations with the city of Salem recently at our breakfast, they mentioned that their industrial, Mill Creek Industrial is full. They're looking, where are they going to be in industrial? We've been talking about this as an ag industrial place. And I believe these businesses up there will qualify for what we just approved for DK too, being more of a rural ag type thing, and seeing this be a corridor where people could live preserve the agriculture, but yet expand, you know, and I always talk about this, our gross domestic per capita income is so much lower than, you know, counties to the north. We have to figure out how we can add value to our agricultural products, you know, like hazelnuts and those types of things, so that we can increase wealth in our county. So, good plan moving forward. Appreciate your work on this. So if, let's see, Commissioner Willis, if you want to move approval of the resolution?
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move approval of a resolution, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Move approval of a resolution approving the Brooks-Hotmere Community Plan Future Report.
I second the
And a
motion.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, and now you're still up there, because now we're going to consider approval of amendment number 1 to contract for services with Angelo Planning Group to add $321,470 for a new contract total of $396,470 for the completion of the water and wastewater feasibility studies for Phase 2 of the Brooks-Hotmere project through December 1st, 2023.
Well, you nailed it. We talked through what our phase 1 was and how we determined what the needs are for that area. Now let's talk about how we actually accomplish those needs. So phase 2 is, just like Commissioner Cameron mentioned, talking through an opportunity to complete water and wastewater feasibility studies in that area. And what these do is really take a deep dive into those utility infrastructure. We want to be looking at the economic impacts of any improvements in that area, as well as the technical. How do we actually accomplish providing service for those residents and those businesses? And then the legal, how do we do so within the land use regulations and the other requirements that are put forth for these 2 infrastructure improvements? So in order for the county to determine best next steps, what is generally done is a feasibility study. So all that means is looking at your different options, figuring out the pros and cons of each, and determining how to move forward based on that information. So there are 3 purposes of this, and really the first is to perform that detailed review, look at those current conditions of those 2 different utility infrastructures, and then review various improvement scenarios based on those. So we want to say, hey, we could do this, hey, we could do that. What does that look like? What are the costs involved with that? How would that affect the infrastructure and the improvements to the region? How does that affect the businesses? How does that affect the residents? And then from that, providing that direction on financial viability. So coming back to the board for potential direction on how we move forward with both of those 2 infrastructure pieces, the water and the wastewater. So this covers our scope and budget. What we're looking at is continuation with our work with Angelo Planning Group, who completed the work for phase 1. And they have sub-consultants of Keller and Associates and GSI. This work is anticipated to be 14 months total, with approximate completion in early 2023. What we're looking for is, well, I guess I should pause and say, we went and started our initial contract with Angelo Planning Group in 2019, and in doing so, we did that through a qualifications-based selection process. So we did an RFP, figured out who the best consultant would be to assist us with this effort, and now we're just continuing that work moving forward. So this scope has been broken out into 3 objectives, but really the meat and potatoes is objectives B and C, and those are going to be completed by the sub-consultants primarily of Keller and Associates. But there's also objective A, so looking at the overall management, the community engagement pieces, and a really deep dive into the land use assessment. How do we accomplish providing these utilities with the land use restrictions that are in place in that area? So the total for objective A, that kind of more management era perspective, is going to be $36,788 of this contract. And then the 2 really nuts and bolts of it is completing the water feasibility study and the wastewater feasibility study. And that's objectives B and objective C. And we'll be working with not only Angelo Planning Group, but also Keller and Associates to do a lot of that work. So what they're going to be doing is for both of those, looking at data acquisition, existing facilities and needs. So they're going to be looking at DEQ requirements, at the requirements for the infrastructure, what the population increases might be, and determine what the needs are moving forward for both the water and the wastewater. Then for the next steps would be looking at, specifically for water, storage and distribution alternatives. So what we're looking at there is really analyzing what system would make the most sense. So are we talking a community well? Are we talking connection to a neighboring system? Or are we talking just current system maintenance, no action? What would each of those entail for the community, its potential for growth, as well as the cost to those businesses and residents? And then they'll look through those and cost those out, and we can come back with that feasibility study to determine what the best next steps would be. For the wastewater, it's a very similar scenario, going through that data acquisition, existing facilities for that infrastructure. The alternatives analysis would be focusing on how do we move that wastewater infrastructure to a gravity-based system and away from the step system. What would it take to do an entire overhaul of the system and go directly to gravity, or what would it take to do a phased-in approach? And then, of course, what would it mean if we just kept with the step system and kept improving that and kept doing that maintenance? So for the water feasibility study, we're anticipating $140,202. And then for the wastewater feasibility study, it's $144,480 for that contract. In addition to all of that detail work, we are anticipating doing a significant amount of community engagement. And really what we're talking about mostly with this is those conversations with those businesses and those residents, making sure that what we are anticipating doing is going to meet their needs moving forward. And then we're also anticipating conversations with government stakeholders and the broader community. So most of that's going to be individual and small group stakeholder meetings, but we also will do a project website and then general email distribution lists and the like. In addition to that, we've also tied in some significant board discussion throughout this process. We anticipate a board work session at the completion of each of those studies, and this will be a significant conversation. It'll be a separate work session for wastewater, a separate work session for water, because they will be two different solutions. In addition to that, we'll also have the opportunity to do a board work session midway through each of those studies for any direction that we might need from you as we're coming up with these solutions or the costing. So this is a slide covering the budget detail basically for this contract. This table on the left shows how this phase 2 expenditures would be played out over the 2 fiscal years. For this current fiscal year, should this get approved, we would be looking at spending $195,000 to get this project started, and then it would be completed in the following fiscal year in early 2023. So we're anticipating spending the balance of that, $126,470. So the estimated total cost for phase 2 is $321,470. And then the table on the right shows what this actually means for the contract. So for phase 1, we have expended $75,000 for the completion of the future study. Phase 2 as a total is anticipated to be $321,470 for a total agreement compensation and then a total contract amount of $396,470. And with that, I'm open to any questions.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, please.
Kelly, we talked a little bit about whether we can front load some of this work so that we can get actionable information sooner rather than later. Have you had discussions with them about this?
Yes, so we've internally had discussions with our Public Works team about how this might impact our potential additional dollars with ARPA, because we know that there's a lot of infrastructure opportunities there. Effectively, we don't want to stop this process because this is going to be really important information for us to be able to come up with a proposal for those ARPA dollars. So that's why we're coming forward for you today, to keep this process moving. But we could anticipate seeing an amendment perhaps to the scope of work to be able to focus on a squished timeline, so to speak, to be able to get some infrastructure improvements in faster. But I don't have the final for that.
That's great. That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Questions?
Nope.
Nope. It's hard to have questions when you're so detailed. You did a good job. Thank you, Kelly.
And the work session was super helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It took away a lot of information to read,
And-
which I did.
Yeah, and your last slide about the process and keeping the board informed, well, not that
Oh,
one.
that
but
one?
Yeah, right. I mean, just that's the process that you're outlining for it, and I think that'll help answer questions as we go and keep
Yeah.
us in the loop. We appreciate that. So I guess we are.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve amendment number 1 to the contract for services with Angelo Planning Group to add $321,470 for a new contract total of $396,470 for completion of the water and wastewater feasibility studies for Phase 2 of the Brooks Hotmere project through December 31, 2023.
I'll second the
We
motion.
have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Is that it? She's leaving now?
Yeah. She had 3 action items.
Good job, yay!
3 action items
I
today.
know.
Okay, our next action item is to consider approval of contract for services with Battery Solutions LLC in the amount of $375,000 to provide battery recycling services and transportation from the county's designated battery sorting facility through December 31st, 2026. Well, I know where all those batteries go that I put aside in a plastic bag.
Correct. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Bryan May, Public Works Environmental Services Division Manager. Yes, as mentioned, before you today is a 5-year contract with Battery Solutions Incorporated, or LLC, for transportation and recycling of batteries collected within Marion County. This program was initially suggested in 1999 from our Solid Waste Management Advisory Council with partnerships of the Mid-Valley Garbage and Recycling Associations, or franchise haulers. The program started in 2000, for one of the first curbside collected battery programs in the nation. So it's something we're very proud of. So since 2000, we've collected somewhere about 150,000 tons or 1,000 pounds of batteries annually. So it's pretty significant, and it's great that we're able to avoid those going to disposal or incineration where we have to worry about emissions and emission controls from that. So as part of that, we ship about that 150,000 pounds per year. It varies. As we try to keep our costs down, loads amount to about 40,000 pounds. So we'll see a high, we'll see a low, but consistently it's about that 150,000 pound range. In addition to the money spent for this contract, we spend about $25,000 a year with Garden Services. As batteries have changed, as we've dealt with 9-volt batteries, we deal with lithium batteries. If we're not properly handling them and packaging for shipment, we end up with fire issues, which has become a big issue in solid waste industry.
Did you say fire?
Fire,
Okay.
yes. So Garden takes care of that for us. They do all the handling and packaging before they're shipped for their ultimate recycling. So that's a big service as part of this also. Besides collection at the curbside, we also have about 30 different drop-off locations throughout the county. So you don't just have to go put it at your curb in your baggie. You can go to one of our transfer stations, either Salem Kaiser or up at North Marion. And if you want to find those additional locations, you can go to mcrecycles.net, and you'll be able to find those additional locations somewhere in your community, somewhere near you. So our current contract expires December 31st of this year. So in anticipation of that, we did do a solicit for services and received 2 bids. Battery Solutions provided the lowest cost service for us. So this will cover all our costs associated with transportation, recycling of household batteries. We anticipate this cost to be about $75,000 per year based on kind of our current volumes. For the full length of the 5-year contract ending December 31st of 2026, the contract amount would be about $375,000. So at this point, staff recommends approval of the contract for Battery Solutions LLC. If you have any questions.
Questions?
I don't have any questions, I just think it's a lot of batteries
A lot of batteries.
every year. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, like an average battery is, this big.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, you're taking bigger batteries too.
Right.
What's the range? I guess I do have a question. What's the range of a battery size? Do you take car batteries?
No,
All batteries?
So this is just household batteries. So this is
Okay.
normally your alkaline, your AA's, your AAA's, your 9 volts.
That's even more. That's a lot of little batteries.
And in addition, you think of your hearing aid batteries, your smaller, kind of the button batteries, right? Those are the ones we're really trying to collect and keep out of the environment.
Yeah, right out of the dirt.
Yep.
Good job.
Well, Yeah, there's a lot that we're getting out, but there's still a lot going in. So
There's still-
whatever we can do to educate people on this issue, because it's not top of the mind when people take the batteries out of their flashlight or whatever to recycle it. It's an education.
I think one of the biggest burdens we have on the recycling industry is how large developments like apartment complexes, by and large, do not recycle.
Yep.
And that contributes to a significant amount of our intake. And imagine if they just had one barrel in an apartment complex that says batteries, right? The creativity, and I understand the reasoning as to why they don't, but I hope we evolve to get there.
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
When I lived at South Block, they did a really good job of their recycling there. They, where their garbage, you walk in this little place where you throw your garbage down the chute, but they had all I was impressed that apartment complex figured it out. And I think you still have people that are lazy and they contaminate it, but, with this MRF that we're having, that's gonna help.
That's gonna help.
The expansion of the MRF. Have they got that going?
They're in their trial phases now, getting their technology up to speed, which they're hoping to have by the end of this year.
Okay, do we have a tour set up for that?
We're trying to get one set for you.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
good.
So,
Well, I
It
think,
could be in the rainiest, cold month of January, probably.
well, we'll put you in, we'll put you inside where you see the technology though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the other issue, Brian, though, is pickup too, though, right? Like Salem has a battery pickup, but Staten doesn't, right? So like for me to recycle my batteries, I actually have to drive into town, but there's not a separate
Oh,
battery
Correct.
thing.
So that's why we have those other entities, right, those 30 different, where you can utilize the transfer stations, or there's community drop-offs in just about every community in Marion County. So those are all collected, and then
Where's the
taken.
drop-off in Staten? I didn't know that.
I would have to look on the website to
should be
tell
right
you
next
for
to the
sure.
ballot box.
Yeah.
I'm,
But-
I'm gonna Google it right now.
There you go. So, yep, mcrecycles.net, and then
Okay.
look for our curbside programs, so.
Because I think that's something that not all the communities have the same sort of curbside
Correct.
arrangement, and so
Yep.
that impacts, how people recycle.
I think it would be great if every high school age student had to go through the master recycler program to like earn a diploma.
There you go.
I'll make that
We-
suggestion.
I was gonna say, we'd appreciate that mandate,
Yeah.
Marion County. That'd be very helpful for us. so.
Yeah, I'll make that suggestion at my volunteer life.
And I think too, to Commissioner Cameron's point about the multifamily piece, there is new legislation coming up. So currently, owners of those multifamily residents determines whether you have recycling or not. So in
Yeah.
the future, with some legislation that's passed, that'll become the tenant's ability to decide whether they have recycling service or not. So it's really gonna change that whole realm of solid waste, definitely on the multifamily side.
Ace Hardware is the drop-off place in
Thank
Staten.
you.
Of course it is.
Thank you
That
very
makes
much.
complete
Just
sense.
I love Ace Hardware, by the way.
That's a cool hardware store.
I was there last
night. Because that's the closest place to rent equipment in Detroit, right? And I don't rent-
And they got a great gun
Yeah,
selection.
when I
there as
put in
well.
my propane tank, I rented a ditch digger there.
They
Yeah.
have a very nice turntable of zip ties. I was just there, needed
Yeah.
some zip ties, and I was like, shoot, oh, Ace, it's right here.
I got
It's
painting,
the place to be.
painter's tape last night there.
That's a great area, because then right across the street, you got Wilco and you got Safeway.
Everything.
Wish I lived in the suburb of Sublimity of Staten.
It's a lovely
Yeah.
suburb of Sublimity.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right, let's get this business done here. Whose turn is it?
It's probably my
Commissioner
turn.
Willis.
Okay, great.
I think, yeah.
Is it? All right. Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the contract for services with Battery Solutions LLC in the amount of $375,000 to provide battery recycling services and transportation from the county's designated battery sorting facility through December 31st, 2026.
I second the motion.
All right, a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Recycle our batteries. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Brian, you're still up. Consider approval of contract for services with JPW Communications LLC in the amount of $1 million to provide public relations services to Marion County Public Works Environmental Services Division through November 30th, 2023.
All right, so actually very excited to talk about this. It kind of
I'm super excited to hear about
It
it.
kind of comes right on the heels of just what we were talking about with kind of that education and outreach and components and a lot of those things that environmental services engaged in. So a little backstory, since 2013, environmental services has utilized a firm to help us place media and advertisement. And as we've kind of progressed, and definitely through this time with COVID, we've really come to that realization that sticking an ad and kind of, I hate to say that shotgun approach of throwing ads out there and hoping that somebody's going to relate to it, somebody's going to understand what it is, isn't very effective. And we're been kind of throwing our dollars those directions. So the intent and what we did when we started looking at this and trying to figure out how could we better engage, right, with COVID, with a lot of our, specific outreach programs where we can go out and kind of touch people, all kind of went away. You're all of a sudden in a virtual environment, you're having to do things differently, and we felt we needed to adapt. And we know within environmental services, we've got a lot of change coming in our future, especially over the next 3 to 5 years. So how are we going to accomplish that? And again, Commissioner Bethel, this is kind of based on a conversation you had about, this isn't something we do very well. And we took that to heart and we agreed. And that's where this comes from, is that aspect where we really wanted to look at something that we could go with more of a data-driven approach, so we could really get some numbers behind it. We wanted a firm that could help us not only with solid waste, but with stormwater, with our parks. We just got a lot of things happening within environmental services. And then kind of most importantly, how can they perform with COVID? How can we do these things that we've been holding and kind of waiting for things to get over? As we all see today, as we're all sitting in our masks, we're not getting over it anytime soon. So we need to be able to adjust and adapt for that. So we put a solicitation out in September. We ended up with one qualified proposal. And I say that reluctantly, right? When you hear you only get one proposal, you're kind of instantly going, oh, great, what do we have? In reviewing the documents and our committee reviewing it, was very impressed with what we saw on paper, with the experience, the background. A lot of the individuals and the founder are ex-government employees that understand how in our processes, and then also understand really how we have to engage and where we need to engage and to do it appropriately to make sure that we get that full buy-in from our communities. So we took it to the next level. Paper looked great. We went through an interview process. We went through an hour interview with them. And again, very impressive. The founder is fantastic. She has roots here in Marion County, which was fun to kind of explore and talk about. But at the same time, really understood that they knew where we were coming from. They had experience with campaigns around litter. They had campaigns around freshwater, stormwater, and also construction that would kind of tie all of our aspects of environmental services together. So as we look at how would we utilize, JPW Communications, one of the first thing that comes to mind is, as Commissioner mentioned, our Master Recyclers program. We're currently going through beta testing right now in a complete new program to kind of rejuvenate it, bring it up to date with more of a materials management focus, looking at life cycle analysis to kind of adapt to the new Senate Bill 582 and what's happening with DEQ's 2050 vision. So we saw all these components, but the first thing we want to throw this firm at is kind of the rebranding of our Master Recyclers program. And that's going to be coming up very shortly. We hope to be putting that program out here in the first of the year so that everybody gets a chance, and then we'll be using more target audiences. But this is really going to help us brand, market our programs, and be specific about those instead of kind of that shotgun media approach as we've had kind of in the past. So we really look forward to having that opportunity. The term of the contract, we decided to start with a 2-year contract with an option for a 3-year extension to give us an opportunity to try this firm on and see how we function, with that expectation that we're going to spend approximately $200,000 a year for the services. So for a total of a 5-year agreement, if we go to that length, would be a total of $1 million. So at this time, we definitely recommend the contract with JPW Communications LLC for public relations services for environmental services. Any questions?
I don't have, no, I think you did a great job of covering what your hope is. Thanks for not being offended at my,
No.
we can do so much better approach.
Not at all.
To just educating and engaging.
Yep.
I wonder, so we're gonna be hiring a communications director. Well, they should be starting very soon. And I just think it's such a great opportunity. The individual that we hired is super interested in really engaging, of course, all our departments and department heads, and they're really creative. So I think this would be a fun opportunity for him to participate and try to get a feel for really what you're looking for based on conversations and just obviously internal work. It's interesting that the owner, I think her name's Jennifer, it looks like she used to work in government.
Yes.
So being able to take the box that government gets stuck in and take your artistic brain out of it and be creative. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, we are too. And also we have our communications coordinator now at Public Works, Yancy Gordon, and our intent is to kind of make her the project manager so she has that overarching look at it, and then we'll work through her to work with this firm.
She's been doing a great job on your Facebook page, by the way.
We're very excited to have Yancy on board.
She's doing that's what Bryan would look up.
Yep.
Yeah, she's doing a great job on Facebook.
Yep.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, for this. Important. I want to say that Dakota was on yesterday for our BIPOC community meeting, talking about the master recycling and other issues, the new grant programs that are out there. So I think that there's a real opportunity for us, as we've seen in our Health and Human Services and some of those contracts that we've done. Yesterday, they presented their presentation. Anthony presented some little commercials and things that they're working on to reach out to that community. And I think I can just see how you're moving that direction to try to make sure we're inclusive and educating all people in Marion County on how important this issue is. You know, we know we are good at what we do already, but we can get better. It's just like the batteries, you know. We get more people to recycle batteries and keep them out of that landfill or the burner, wherever they're going.
Yeah, the programs only work as good as the people using them.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I know we have some real challenges ahead, but I really appreciate you and your team and how you've been taking these on, and long-term strategy. This is a really good part of it, so
I wonder if there's an opportunity, and it's probably not in this scope of work, but maybe since Jennifer's got roots here, she'd be interested in exploring a relationship with the local C-Tech program. You know, there's Salem Kaiser and also the new regional career technical education center that's located on Lancaster that serves the rural districts. Both have students who are working in marketing, advertising, videography, and their services are free.
Right.
But recently the students came and did a videography marketing project for a local entity, and they just knocked it out of the park.
Fantastic.
And it's direct experience, so I think it's twofold. One, it's giving them the business experience for their future, but also teaching them about the systems and the programs that are in place so they could utilize them. You know, that component of getting kids involved.
Oh, yes.
So if you suggest it and she's interested, I'd love to connect her to the programs.
You bet.
Also to meet her and see if there's ways I can help her.
You bet. We'd love to.
All right.
All right.
Good job.
Mr.
Oh, has she been up here yet?
No.
I noticed they are in a beautiful town of Carlsbad.
Not yet, no. We do have travel expense built into the contract to make sure we can have them up here.
Okay,
Yep.
it'd be great when they're here to see if we can connect and do a little tour of some things, facilities, et cetera.
Definitely.
Sorry,
That's okay.
who was gonna make the motion?
Me.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the contract for services with JPW Communications LLC in the amount of $100,000 to provide $1 million to provide public relations services to the Marion County Public Works Environmental Services Division through November 30th, 2023.
I second the motion.
Thanks, Jane.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Up to our last item, number 12, before our public hearing, and I want to thank those that are here for that public hearing for their patience. Consider approval of amendment number 1 to construction contract for Fairlane Bridge, Inc. to add $274,282.06 for a new contract total of $4,339,144.96, which an estimated $3,819,829.48 will be paid with federal funds, and an estimated $519,315.48, or the actual excess amount upon construction, will be funded by the county for the Silverton Road Little Pudding River Bridge Replacement Project. Wow. Ryan,
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words.
a lot of money.
Yes. For the record, Ryan Cruther, Marion County Capital Projects Manager with Public Works. As you said, today I'm here to talk to you about our Silverton Road Little Pudding River Bridge Replacement Project and Amendment Number 1 with Farline Bridge. So the project's located just east of the city of Salem on Silverton Road. You can see here are a few photos of the bridge that used to be there. So we're currently in construction. As many people probably know, the road's closed at the bridge. We have 2 well-signed detours in place. This amendment is to add a number of items that we have found during construction. The first is additional tree removal that wasn't included in the original contract. We found 2 large trees that needed to be removed as we were in construction. We also monitored the traffic on those detours as we went, and we added additional traffic control striping and signing to facilitate better movement through those detours. So this will add additional compensation for the contractor for those additions. We found an undocumented large footing from an earlier structure. No records showed it being in place. They had to bring out larger equipment and remove that concrete footing. We had to core our drilled shafts to confirm some anomalies were not there within the concrete. And then a big one was we have wet weather construction because of project delays, and so we have to bring in rockfill, wet weather rockfill, instead of using native backfill. And we extended the closure to January 12th of 2022. Excuse me, my glasses keep fogging up.
Hence the not on my nose thing.
No, so the amendment adds $274,282.06. As we said, the estimated county share of this project is now at $519,315.48. The contract's extended through January 12th of 2022. Excuse me, I have a typo there. Any days in addition to that are subject to liquidated damages at $760 a day. And then construction will be completed by June 30th of 2022. And with that, I'd ask if you have any questions.
So, I know that you guys had worked on an extensive communication plan with the city of Silverton on this project. And I know Bryan updated the commissioners a few weeks ago about the delay, which we'd known, we knew that it potentially was coming, but it's now officially a delay. So what has been done with that next step communication piece within the city to make sure folks understand that Silverton is open, the holiday businesses are wanting your business, type of a thing? Because I know that the chamber in Silverton had some concerns around the holiday seasons and that road, their main road, right, being closed.
So that's a good question. So Yancey Gordon, our new communications coordinator, is working extensively with Silverton, the chamber. She's been reaching out. I know she's taking steps to make sure that we're putting information out there. We do have issued press releases on our end showing the closure extension. Now, one thing I do want to mention is our press releases show through the end of January. The contractor does have a few of their own delays that aren't included in this contract extension. Again, if they go over that January 12th date, they're subject to liquidated damages. We just didn't want to mislead people and show an earlier opening date.
Okay.
So we've really been trying to get that information out there in any way we can.
So in addition to working with Silverton, because like a lot of folks go from the Salem area, like this area out there, what efforts do we have in place to communicate that go around, but please go? Is there a plan for that?
You know,
Brian's leaning back and forth. He may come up and
I was
share.
gonna say, there is, we're trying to.
Brian, you want to, yeah, come on up. Thank you. Go ahead, Ryan, sorry.
Oh, no, I'll wait for Brian to get up here and add to what I've already said.
Good morning, I'm Brian Nicholas, Marion County Public Works Director. So, 4 years ago, when we first proposed the idea to the city of Salem and the business, or city of Silverton and the business community there about the idea of closing the road, we talked about some what ifs. So we settled on the primary concept was let's keep this road closure as short as possible and have the road open before the start of the Christmas or the holiday shopping season. And then the question came up, okay, so what happens when that doesn't happen? What's our plan B going to be? So what we committed to do is help the city, or actually just we offered to do a communication campaign for the city, something akin to a we're open for business kind of campaign. So that was the concept 4 years ago. And it evolved a little bit over time. So once we knew that we had a delay, this was early summer, we knew we had a delay on our hands, and it was not likely that the contractor was going to be able to overcome that initial delay. We approached the city and the Chamber of Commerce because really they were a key partner in that discussion 4 years ago. So we just asked the city, how would you like us to help? And the the Chamber of Commerce does the bulk of the communication marketing for, the weekend holiday bazaars and all those other activities that happen inside the city of Silverton. So they basically said they've migrated all of their communications and marketing to online platforms. And so helping them get a better outreach with that communication was where we could help. So what we're doing to make good on that commitment is the Chamber of Commerce is developing their marketing materials, putting it out there on social media, and we're basically boosting it to make sure that as many eyes can see that as possible. And then that lets the Chamber of Commerce craft the message, and then we're just following through to help them get that message out. Commissioner.
So are you planning for the winter closure of Hazel Green in that little before the dairy? I don't know if that bridge is called, I travel Hazel Green a lot during the closure going that way. And if you drive there, you know that there's certain months it closes, but you have to approach the closure basically to know that you can't get through. So what's the plan to really, it's a hard detour.
Yeah.
If you only have one direction. So I don't need to know the whole plan, I just want to know that you're planning for that, hey, this additional route that we've sent you down now is closed and you have to go down.
Right. Well, and I'll handle that. So the location you're talking about on Hazel Green, it's located east of, what's the name of the road?
Howell Prairie.
Howell Prairie. So the detour route actually takes people down Hazel Green, then south on Howell Prairie, back to Silverton Road and into Silverton.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So what we'll do is if we do have flooding this winter and we have to close the gates on that segment of Hazel Green, we'll roll out variable message signs to let people just reinforce that detour message.
Okay.
Because some people are continuing straight through. It's easier for them to continue straight through
Yes.
Howell Prairie and off to the north. So
Yeah.
we'll just supplement with some on-the-spot signage.
Perfect, love that.
Yep.
Silverton shopping is super great in the holidays, I'm just recommending it. I have no ties, I just like to buy and shop there.
And go visit the Oregon Garden.
That's right. Although,
All right.
I
Well,
don't think they have holiday activities this year, as you say that, we just got an update, and they're not doing Christmas in the garden
not yet,
this
but
year,
but it's still a nice
you
place.
can still go for a walk.
They're turning that around. Okay. So, Commissioner Willis,
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve amendment number 1 to the construction contract with Fairline Bridge.
all right, we have a motion and
A second.
a second, okay? Good. Since I read it all the way
I know,
through,
like, what's happening right now?
I said, why don't you just abbreviate this motion?
Oh, I was out of that
I was
blue.
happy to do so.
All right. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
All right, thank you both. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I just want
Okay.
to say that yesterday was like the longest day of my life. So all these little like curves you're throwing, I'll catch on. It'll just be slower than usual.
Yeah, that's okay. Longest day of our life, and it's
I
like shortest days of the year, too,
I
right?
started at 5 a.m. yesterday,
Oh, that's right. You
and
have
then
other
I had a school board
extracurriculars.
meeting and didn't get done till 11.
Oh.
Wind down. I think I was asleep probably by 12:30 or 1.
Oh, my
There you
gosh.
go.
All right, we will open a public hearing, under Public Works to consider a zone change comprehensive plan, ZCCP case number 21-004. Anthony, and I'm going to butcher this last name,
Arnatoff.
Arnatoff? Okay, Lindsay, welcome.
Hi, this is actually Alyssa
Oh, I
Shrums
was
with
just gonna
Marion
say,
County Planning.
the new look of
different.
Lindsay.
Yep, we pulled a switcheroo on you guys.
Oh, there you are. Okay, so just go ahead and introduce yourself for the record, and we'll go from there.
Hello there. For the record, my name is Alyssa Shrums, Associate Planner with Marion County Planning. So the case that you have before you today is a zone change and comprehensive plan amendment. The applicant is applying to change the comprehensive plan designation from developing residential to multifamily residential, and to change the zone from urban development UD to multifamily residential RM on 2 properties totaling 2.25 acres located at 4310 and 4330 Monroe Avenue Northeast. So kind of key to this is it is approximately a quarter mile from Lancaster. It's going to be on the eastern side. So we held a hearing in front of the hearings officer on July 1st of 2021, and they did recommend approval. Are there any questions that I can answer before we move forward?
Questions for Alyssa?
Alyssa, I have a question. We talked about changing some of the density in East Salem slightly. I think we talked about having some townhomes. Was it 3 or 4 connected units? Has that happened yet?
It has not happened yet. We would have to do our code amendments for that process. It's a process we're going through, but we haven't started the public outreach or any hearings on it yet.
So if we were to do that, that would apply to this area as well?
Yes, so for the multifamily residential zone, I think currently what we're proposing is 6 connected townhomes is your maximum.
Sorry, I want to clarify. This is not currently zoned as multifamily residential. So the applicant is requesting that we rezone it. But under what it's currently zoned, if we made that change, or if it, then it could, they could put 3 connected units there, correct?
So there's a number of options. So developing residential is typically 1 home on the property. When it has a developing residential comp plan underlying it, we can do a subdivision, which in our code automatically rezones them to single-family residential. They're of a size where they could do that subdivision. If they were to rezone to the single-family residential density, you could do potentially 4 connected townhomes. Multifamily residential, with our code, you automatically have to do this whole zone change and comprehensive plan amendment process. That gets you a higher density for dwellings, but there is still the lower density options. Under our current code, we call townhomes 0 lot line dwellings, and you can do 4 of them, but there are some required setbacks, so you have to be 10 feet back where you'd normally be 5 in the single-family residential.
So even without any code change, if this was not rezoned multifamily, there'd be a path for them to do 4 connected homes.
Correct, but in that situation, you would have to actually create the lots, so you'd have to partition off your,
I understand.
your
Yeah.
1,500 square foot lots.
Got it.
So there are some options, but not at the density that they're proposing.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Any further questions for Alyssa?
I do have one question, and I don't even, because this is all foreign to me, so I'm just gonna put it out there and hopefully you can answer it. So they're proposing a property that's 2 parcels of 2.25 acres, which is 4.5 acres, right, total?
It's 2.25 together, so they're approximately
Okay.
1 each.
Perfect, okay. What's the maximum amount of units in this request that they can have on that? Is there such a thing in the code?
So I don't have the actual calculations in front of me, but our density maximum is 1 unit per 1,500 square feet of lot.
Okay.
So I don't have the rough calculations, but they would be held to that standard. That would be their maximum. And then that, of course, is also impacted by your setbacks and things like that, like actual practical ability to build.
So when they submit this change, do they provide like a layout of what their proposed concept looks like? So have you already looked at what they're hoping to build?
Yes, they did provide one of those. It's in the file. I can probably find that exhibit for you if you'd like.
I'm just curious how many units it's gonna be.
I believe that we do have the applicant's representative here. He could probably speak more to that. But also one thing too is that they do have the ability, apparently they can do 63.8 units
Okay,
at maximum.
thank you.
But the applicant's representative can speak to kind of what they're looking at. And then also with the zone change, we're not actually approving any development. They're still subject to further review as part of the building permit process.
Okay, thank you.
Great. If we don't have any further questions for Alyssa, we can bring up John Rosie. Yeah. John, welcome. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Yes, my name is John Brosy, B-R-O-S-Y. I represent the Anthony Arnatoff, who's the property owner. This comes to you with the recommendation of staff, as well as the recommendation from the hearings officer. I had a hearing back in July. This is really a wonderful opportunity for some additional density. It's not a surprise to the neighbors, I don't think. This is one of the exhibits in your packet, but all these gray areas are areas that are anticipated for additional density in the Marion County zoning code. And this particular site is really wonderfully appropriate for additional density for a number of reasons. First off, we have a brand new tall wooden site obscuring fence on one end, adjacent to a new single-family development. And then we have, on one side, we have a large setback that's required because there's a branch of the Little Pudding River that is actually a ditch, but we'll call it a branch of the river right now. Much better for real estate purposes. But what that means is there's about a 30-foot easement that there's a setback that's required for the property owners on the other side here. And you add that to the setback that we are required to have, which is at least 12 feet, depending on the height of the building. So you have a real wide separation that has to be adhered to on that side, which is the east side. And then the north side of the property are the two houses that are owned by the applicants. One is the Arnatoff family property that they've resided in for over 20 years. And the other side, they recently acquired, there was a gentleman's agreement with that owner that when the time came that they would have the opportunity, first right of refusal to acquire the property. Time came, they acquired the property. So that side of the third side of this 2.5 acre property is owned by the applicants. We're going to take out some of those outbuildings in order to build the units that we're proposing. So that's a really nice opportunity. Add that to the fact that all the utilities are already there. Great water. We're going to improve the width of Deanna Street and also Monroe Street. All the other utilities are there, and that's one reason why the staff recommended approval. So it's a good opportunity for some additional density. We did contact the neighborhood association, but we didn't get any response back. I know they're out there. I've worked with them before in previous cases, but I didn't get any response back for them. We could have discussed some of the issues. There was only one property owner that spoke in opposition and wrote in opposition, but we could have at least discussed with them earlier and talked about other particular issues. But in any case, we did make our attempt to make that contact, but we're denied that because the association apparently wasn't organized enough to have a meeting. In any case, that's our proposal. We've waited a long time for this. There's been a few delays. Like I said, the hearing was way back in July 1st. So we're waiting patiently, but we urge you to follow the staff and the hearings officer's recommendation and approve this.
Great.
Appreciate, I could answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
So I apologize. You said that the landowner is going to improve Monroe and what was the other road?
Deanna?
Deanna. So that road has houses on both sides of it, and I understand that the applicant owns, I mean, I don't know what the geography is, but if you're turning right on Deanna off of Monroe, they own the homes on the left, which is where the land is.
Mhm.
And they're tearing down that home initially?
One house and a couple of the outbuildings behind it, yeah.
So is it the properties closest to Deanna that they're tearing down?
Yes.
And so then they're just gonna utilize some of the property to widen the road? Because I don't know, how would you do it otherwise?
Well,
Knowing
they'll
that there's
use that
residences.
property to build units, and then we already have the land to expand the width of Deanna Street.
Yeah, so my question, I guess, to be more clear, I apologize, is you're gonna utilize a portion of the owner's land to expand Deanna?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, with the Arnatov family will continue to reside in the one house for a number of years, but ultimately, that will become part of the project on a later phase.
Commissioner?
You mentioned that the gray areas were anticipated for density, but what Alyssa said is that if no zone change happens in these gray areas, they're permitted as of right for single-family development. So they're not really anticipated for density.
I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
You said the gray areas, the UD areas, are anticipated for more density,
Right.
but the current zoning in those areas don't actually allow that. So that's not really the
It's
case, right?
It's a holding zone.
Right, but you can develop it into single-family without a zone change.
We could develop it, but not at the density that we're requesting.
Right, but from the county's perspective, I wouldn't say that's an accurate statement that the gray areas are anticipated from the county's perspective for higher density, right? If what's allowed to happen is single-family development, and in order to do higher density, you have to do a zone change.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay, and then the second question is, it seemed to me when I looked at the paperwork, there were more than just one neighbor who wrote in opposition or expressed concerns about this.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
We got more than just one resident that expressed concerns about this in the record. There might have been only one at the hearing, but I remember at least.
Oh, you mean in
several.
opposition?
Yeah,
There was just one owner,
okay,
husband and wife.
okay,
They're on Monroe Street, one of the properties on Monroe.
okay, thank you.
Like I said, we attempted to contact the association back in June, but were unsuccessful, a couple different tries.
Okay.
The eventual number of units will depend on off-street parking requirements. So it'll be in the vicinity of the numbers that we show on those exhibits. And that depends on the height of the buildings that we'll put in. I think it's probably beneficial to the property owners to know that the developers are the ones who've been living there and own at least half of this property for over 20 years. And so they have more than just a commercial interest in the property. They've lived there and they are part of the community.
Commissioner?
I actually have a question for Alyssa. I don't know if I can ask her while he's.
Well, if we're done with Mr. Brosey, then we can ask Alyssa she's already here. Well, I'd ask Alyssa to come back up. So any other questions for Mr. Brosey? Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Appreciate it. Yep, so come on back up and introduce yourself for the record again.
All right, Alyssa Schrems, Marion County Planning.
Thank you. So my question is about the parking. So based on my concern of densifying this neighborhood, because I agree that it's a single-family residential community, and it has been always, and it's pretty dense with houses around it. They're going to take this land and add a bunch of apartments to it, is what it sounds like, and that always creates congestion, a significant amount in my experience of growing up in them. So what are the county guidelines around when you develop multifamily units, and he stated that they're going to have off-street parking, and that's going to basically dictate the number of units that they put in. But what are our guidelines for discouraging on-street parking in communities specifically like this?
We don't necessarily have guidelines that strictly discourage on-street parking. We have parking requirements, and they scale based on how many units or bedrooms are in a unit. So like a 1-bedroom doesn't have the same required parking as like a 2 or a 3-bedroom. But we don't have anything in our code that specifically prohibits on-street parking, and that's mainly because streets are developed to accommodate that. So maybe there's things that they could do management-wise to discourage it, but nothing in our development code that we
Okay,
have.
so in the code, when we talk about the street development and the width of it,
Mm-hmm.
because I assume that they have to widen the road in order to put this in?
I believe there may be some comments from our land development engineering division. Because this is strictly a zone change and not an actual development proposal, they don't have conditions of approval at this time, but they had some comments about what may be required if they were to turn up with the, like, let's say an apartment building permit. And it could require right-of-way dedication, so widening those roads in front of the apartment complex to account for additional traffic and additional road improvements.
So they're just recommendations at this point?
Correct, because it's strictly a zone change. In our development process, when we're doing only like a zone change and a comprehensive plan amendment, there's nothing locked in. So we're not approving his site plan as part of this process. And because of that, they could come back and change it. So when we do building permits, our LDEP is able to impose additional development requirements depending on what the actual request as submitted is.
Okay.
So if we do this, there's still opportunity to require additional improvements, and that would be a requirement of like what is actually submitted by the applicant.
Okay. So I just,
John's here. I saw him. You want to say anything? I mean, from engineering? This is just the land use zoning change.
Yeah.
Right? This is not approving any kind of what it's going to actually look like at the end, and I think that's what you're getting at.
yeah, my concern for the record is that, again, this is a single-family residential community that we're asking to, or you're asking to, add a whole large amount of population to, which creates disruption. It's traffic, it's people, it's all the things. And so I understand the legal process of the zone change, but as a neighbor, I would be concerned. And I hope, and I assume that our planning department and engineer department will do, their very best to do the next part.
Okay.
If you may,
But just hang on a second.
Yeah,
So
sure.
any other questions for staff?
It was more of a comment. I did locate the proposed development. If you'd like, we can have it passed around up there, and you could take a look at what they're currently proposing. Again, it's not subject to the zone change approval, but if you wanted to take a look at what they turned in as part of the packet, I have located it.
It was in the packet. It was in the packet that we got to review, wasn't it?
It was in the file. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if
we-
you received everything, or
Yeah,
if you
I
just...
missed that, but that's okay.
Okay,
I don't know
yeah.
that it's
For
relevant.
this issue, I don't think we need to see that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
personally don't.
I want to look at it later.
Okay.
But when that comes up, any other questions for staff at this point in time?
questions.
So, Mr. Brosey, you can have closing comments?
yes, it's always a question about how much information to provide at one point for the process. We probably provided more detail about what should be anticipated for development than you would normally have on just a plan and zone change. I know we pestered your engineer, John Rasmussen, he said, it's not time for that yet, it's not time for that. Except that we wanted to be honest with the owners, and we also needed to make sure that it was something that we could accomplish under the codes. And when I say about 53 units total, that it all depends on how much parking we can put in, and like I said, the type of buildings. But so it's always a question on the part of the applicant of how much information to show in the front end. But we thought it would be fair to say, well, this is what you should anticipate if we get the comprehensive plan and zone change. It's also something we thought would be, the city of Salem should see, because we were asking for their opinions as well, and they were neutral about it. They said as long as it follows, the standards. But we, so there's no, so that's why we added all that additional information on all those exhibits. We did a pretty elaborate traffic impact study as well, and they recognize that at some point there's going to be, the city now is considering at what point do they improve some of the interchanges on Lancaster. Monroe is one of them. Right now it's not signaled or anything. But at this point, the traffic engineers have recommended that this project will meet all the current standards, and the roads are adequate for these additional units. So, thank you.
Okay, any questions? Otherwise, we're ready for.
Well, I just do have one, just because of what you said. And the reason you want to talk to the city is because you'd want to get city services out there as part of this development, right?
Eventually, I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Like water and sewer.
Eventually, the property will be part of a city annexation process, most likely,
Right.
and we.
I'll be long gone.
Yeah.
I'm teasing. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You ready?
Sure.
You,
Yeah.
if you don't want to, I'll make the motion.
Well, are we going to talk about it first? We're just going to.
Well, we can deliberate, yeah.
Okay. I think, when I look at this, the question that I see is, are we gonna allow apartments in a single-family zone? And I don't feel good about that. I think I don't like the direction the state is going, basically to try to eliminate single-family zoning and towns over 10,000. And I think we have the ability right now, with the way it's zoned, for them to put density there with the townhomes. They could put something in the order of 20 to 30 units on that land. So I don't favor changing the zoning. You're basically making an island of apartments surrounded by single-family homes.
Well, go ahead.
I don't disagree with you. I guess I'm not exactly sure what to do, to be honest. I mean, I appreciate that we do need more housing. I don't appreciate apartments. I've been pretty clear about that all along. I think that it's a burden on this community having apartments there. I do think it is more suited for houses, but I think it's just I feel like I'm in this tough spot because I know we need more housing overall, and I think this is like one step to whatever Salem's wanting to do as far as their growth expansion, and I don't know that community wants that. It puts me in, I'm not exactly sure yet. So I guess Commissioner Cameron, you can share your thoughts.
Here's my thought. The owners of this property have gone through a process with our staff. Our staff is recommending it. The hearings officer is recommending it. We saw a presentation yesterday that how far we are behind in housing units in this state and in this county. And we have a family here in the local community that's willing to go through this process, make this investment, and add housing units. And we all have issues with development in our areas, and they're going through a process that allows them to do it. We are obviously the decision maker here, and my thought is I want to recommend that we would allow this comprehensive zone change. This is not a plan that they're putting forward to build these things yet, but gives them the opportunity to put that plan. They have some ideas of where they would want to go with it. And you see that property there, it's big. So I'm willing to say, yes, let's approve this zone change for those reasons. We got to get housing. We need to get it. And, you walk the streets, and unfortunately, you can't go a mile east of this place and build apartment complex across Gordon Road because it's EFU land, and that's the end of the urban growth boundary, and that's the way, the laws that we're stuck with until we're able to expand. So this is something I would support.
I do just want to make a clarification. The way that I understand the process is it's our staff's job to do a technical review on this. It's our job to make a policy decision. And I view this more as a policy decision. Like, do we want to approve multifamily residential in this area, or do we not? So I don't view it as staff made that policy decision. I view that as a separate analysis than what staff does.
Yeah, staff has reviewed it and said you can make this, and they supported the, yeah, right. So I'm okay making that policy decision, however you want to look at it.
I had a question for Jane, but then I lost it.
Oh, well, I will just say that part of the determination that I believe staff made was have these legal requirements been met under
Correct.
the code? And I believe that what they're saying is that the approval criteria has been legally met to move on to the next phase.
Correct.
So I don't think they made a policy decision. They made a legal determination.
Correct.
I remembered my question for Jane.
Go ahead.
So hopefully you know this. For a process like this, for this type of a zone change, can you remind me of what the noticing requirements to the community as a whole that surrounds it are?
So all adjacent neighbors, and Brandon can help me out here, were mailed copies of this recommendation. And then I believe once the board makes its determination, they will also get a mailing copy of this as well.
Yes, we sent it out.
We sent it out to neighbors within 100 feet of the property boundaries, so that's the entire property boundary, so it's actually fairly decent sized. We mailed the neighborhood association, usually the service providers, so water and sewer, things like that. So they would have received comment or a notice of the initial hearings officer hearing. They receive notice of this board hearing, and they'll, if requested, receive a copy of this hearing or this decision as well.
It was only neighbors within 100 feet of the property?
Yeah, it's actually a fairly decent buffer. It's normal for urban zones to only do 100 feet. But we also notify the neighborhood association, and there's nothing that says neighbors can't pass on the notice as well. It's just our minimum legal requirement.
Okay. But 100 feet would just be like literally the adjacent neighbor.
A lot of the time, but sometimes your properties will have a weird configuration and it'll pull like a second round. So just one and then another one.
That would be a really small lot if it was only 100 feet.
There are some weird shaped lots, and that's a situation where it would pull more than one.
That doesn't look like the situation here, though, in this case.
Most likely not. I think most of them are pretty rectangular, not irregularly shaped.
Okay. Well, I'm not a fan of having multifamily apartments in a single family community. However, I'm really hopeful that the family, since they've lived there for so long, has relationships and they are respectful of this community. Are they going to be can I ask them a question? Probably can't now. Sorry.
No, you still can. Yeah, you can ask.
Are they going to be the property manager?
They would be the owners, yes.
So they're going to manage the property?
Yes.
They're going to be responsible for it?
Yes, no, they will continue to be property owners as well as developers. And their parents will continue to live in the house as well.
Yeah.
But just
So
to
they'll
be
be
clear,
residents as well as owners.
just to be clear, there's nothing that guarantees that.
I know. I'm clear on that. I recognize that this is a policy decision, but I also recognize the emotional position that this puts me in and this community, and I hope that the owners understand that. It's not about me, it's about that community and the burden that potentially is going to come to the community. That's a reality. I mean, you can't deny traffic and people and behaviors and things, and so I'm conflicted, but willing to support this today. Just putting on the record that I'm pretty conflicted about it. So I'll.
Do you want to make a motion to close the public hearing and approve it, or?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I make a motion to close the public hearing and approve the zone change comprehensive plan ZCCP case number 21-004, Anthony Arnatov.
You want me to second it, Commissioner?
Yep.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
All right. And we will close the public hearing, and want to thank you for our staff and everybody and the time you took to get this to us. And we will read the calendar.
It's my turn because it's
Yeah,
super
you get the short one.
All right, today is November 10th, Wednesday, 9 a.m. We're in board session, location Senator Hearing Room, first floor, 555 Court Street, Northeast Salem. And then today at 1:15, we have a BOC CAO meeting, executive session if needed pursuant to ORS 192.660 2ABDEFHI, location Commissioners Boardroom, 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And then at 3 p.m. today, we have a Health and Human Services Policy meeting upstairs, Commissioner Boardroom, 5th floor. And then tomorrow, Thursday, all day, is Veterans Day, and the county will be closed. I want to thank all the veterans for their service.
Amen.
Amen.
And then on Tuesday, the 16th at 8 a.m., we have the Association of Oregon Counties Annual Conference at the Hotel in Eugene, 66 East 6th Avenue. Oh my gosh, Eugene. On Wednesday, the 17th, from 8 to 5, AOC County's Annual Conference, the Graduate Eugene. Same location. And then Wednesday at 12:30, we have the Mid-Valley Jobs Council, which is virtual. So hopefully you're not superstitious, gonna hang out in that hotel. Can I just say that I'm super excited about the marketing
Yes.
contract that Environmental Services is gonna enter into.
Yeah.
I know this is super geeky and in the weeds, but I'm just thrilled. I've been saying for months that we really have to sell what we do to our citizens so they participate. And this is just one giant step in that direction.
They do a pretty good job over there.
They
at
do.
Environmental Services.
They do.
It's a good thing, Brenda, that you look at these very closely and tell us where to sign, because I would have missed this one, almost certainly.
Hi, Hitesh. Yeah? Did you gavel? Well, no, we're still in.
No, we're still in board session.
Are you
I've
not,
I've
Commissioner Willis, signing this battery solutions
No,
contract?
I am. I think he's just,
Oh,
Kevin's just trying to get it done.
What? Yeah, I got a 11:15
oh, okay,
down the street.
sorry.
Did I send it the wrong way? I
It's
was trying
fine,
to send
I'll hold
back.
it and make sure he signs it.
Commissioner. Okay, I signed that. And that one needs to go to you.
Oh my God, I don't even know the date, and I've written it like 10 times.
10th.
I'm gonna date this for you, Commissioner Cameron.
Thank you. All right, I think I got them all. Is that what you need, HP?
Yeah.
All right. I think these gotta go to you. We got, that's it?
This needs to go back to him.
Huh?
Back to Colin.
You've got one for me.
Here's the sign, he just didn't get it.
Yeah, I kinda messed it up
It's okay.
because I grabbed them.
I might be tired, but I can see the detail today.
Shut down anyway.
Are you gonna gavel out?
Oh, anything you wanna say?
Have a great day.
Oh, is this your longest board session since you've been
No,
here?
are you kidding? Absolutely not.
What was the longest one we did?
We had one, the longest one I've been in went till 1:45 to noon. It was a couple
okay.
weeks ago.
Okay.
It was about the reopening and, local control.
Was
That
it
was-
Brandon
that-
before?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
It just
anyways.
was really long, because I
Okay,
remember I
I-
needed to eat and I didn't get to,
All right,
because I had a meeting at noon.
so we will adjourn
Yes?
until another day.